Welcome back to another Master and Apprentice podcast. Today we kind of got a doozy of a video. We're asking the questions to ourselves, to Disney, to you, the viewer. Should they make a season 2 Kenobi? With season 1 just dropping, it brought a lot of love and hate. It was, like I said, a love-hate relationship. A great ending, in my opinion. Last episode 5 and 6 were great. Episode 3 was pretty good. I know most people didn't really care for it. I loved episode 3. And then 1, 2, and 4 were kind of sleepers. Mostly 4, but 1 and 2 were decent. With that being said, it had a 1.8 million household stream for the finale. And they kind of look at that for the finale because when they start the show, it's always higher than the ending. So they always look who's watching at the end. For Mandalorian Season 2, it's 1.1. For Boba Fett, it was 1.3. And for Kenobi, it was 1.8 million. So with that giant uptick, just keep going up and up. The question is, will they make a Season 2? They originally said they wouldn't. And now they're kind of putting in the air like, who knows? Maybe we will. Which makes us viewers believe they might make a season 2 of this Kenobi. Personally, do I want to see it? Yes and no. No, because I'm very worried about what they could do and how they could ruin it. You don't want to see Kenobi and Vader fighting again, right? Mm-hmm. Because that ruins canon. Can't have them fight. You barely could have them fight 2 times that they did. To have them fight again, it just doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
So then they're just not going to see each other then? Like, how does that work? Or you're just not going to have Vader in it, which kind of ruins the point to me. Or they could do it really good, which is why I would want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy who originally wrote the Kenobi movies, they took the writing for the first movie and made it into the show, right? And he told, he pretty much said the first movie is supposed to be about Kenobi finding and trusting in the Force, trusting in the will of the Force. And then the second movie is to be about Kenobi, having peace with death. Him knowing that the Force is eventually going to kill him off. And that he has to be ready to do that for Luke. With just that being said, like, if they get different writers and directors, because whoever wrote the dialogue for most of Season 1 wasn't good. A lot of that dialogue sucked. You know what I mean? A lot of it did. So maybe a new writer, even a director, because half the time the screen was shaking, and I'm like, what? This isn't an action scene, bro. Like, Kenobi's talking and the screen's freaking.
Is this a whole movie?
Yeah, seriously. So new director and new writer, and maybe I would love a season 2. Will they do it? And again, it's a 50-50. The fact that it's doing decent for their numbers for streams gives them an obvious reason to do it. Will they do it? It kind of depends. Whoever's in charge of it. I mean, obviously, Kathleen Kennedy is in charge of it, but it just kind of depends if they care enough. You know what I mean? Because we'll see. Go ahead.
So they could do this a couple ways, and one of them. Here's the reason I don't like the idea of a Kenobi show, season 2. It and they make Vader and Obi-Wan fight. That's against canon, or they make the same exact thing happen as season 1, and it's like, bro, what's even the point?
Or they add new characters like Darth Maul or something.
Just true. I
would love that. I would love that. Cool. You have Vader on his own story and Kenobi on his own story.
Mm-hmm. Or they could make it so they don't fight, which unless they do something like that, or one other thing I'm about to mention, it almost seems like, what's the point? You bring Maul into this, that would be very cool. It would have to be, I think that's a long stretch for them to have 2 different plots and then not connecting them towards the end, having Vader and Obi-Wan. They could definitely do it. I don't think they will, and you could still have it connected. Just it'd be different. It'd be weird. I can't personally see it happening like that. If they pull it off the way you're saying, it sounds great. I don't think that's how it'll happen. One thing I would love to see, it would not be very popular, not a ton of people would love it, but what if they just slowed it down and did when you started describing the writing for episode 2, I was like, that would be a beautiful movie right there. That'd be a beautiful TV show, a series right there. Obi-Wan just taking it slow, going back to Tatooine, and just taking life one step at a time. Maybe a little bit of action here and there for whatever reason, but with Qui-Gon Jinn finding peace with death, that would be awesome. And I honestly couldn't see them making an entire live-action show out of that because that just seems too slow. I don't think it would hit well with people who aren't hardcore.
That's what viewers. I'm saying. If they do make a season 2, it's tough because you make a season 2, you can only really make it one way. You can make it really good for the hardcore fans and have it 2 separate stories, make them kind of 2 separate boring stories. Because what are you going to do? You can't have Kenobi and Vader fight. You have them on their own separate stories. You have Kenobi trying to either duel with Maul and have his talk with Qui-Gon. That separate story, and then you have Vader with Padme. That would be sexy and awesome to me. To a normal viewer, that's boring, right? Or you have a bunch of action scenes, and you have Vader and Obi-Wan go at it again. That's great for the normal viewers. That sucks for us. You know what I mean? Like, they make a season 2, they're gonna have to choose one or the other. You know what I mean? It's gonna be really hard to do both.
The only way I think they could do this to make it so it'd be great for everyone, which wouldn't make sense really. I don't think it'd even be great for the hardcore viewers. Just saying, make it so it's a prequel to season 1, but that I don't know. They didn't really leave off options for that. It just wouldn't make sense too much, but I could see them having a good bit of action in that and tie it in with Vader. And honestly, if they do a season 2 of Kenobi, I don't think Vader should be much in it. Not at all, but I don't think that they could involve Vader in it without it breaking canon. I mean, if they involved it just like you said, where Vader's fighting for Padme, could you imagine them making one series broken into 2 plots and those plots not connect? Because I can imagine it. It sounds great. I can't imagine a big studio like that doing that, though.
I could see it, though, like having not connect at the beginning, but like Vader finds out Maul is alive and he knows how much he hates Kenobi, and so he's trying to get a hold of Maul because Maul is hunting Kenobi, right? Like, it could kind of connect, There is ways to do it. It makes me scared because Disney has been making a lot of mid shows, and they're like one step away from making a bad mistake with these important characters. So, I don't know. Do I want to? Yes and no. Do I think they will? Again, yes and no. It's a very tough choice for Disney to make because they have to have good writing for this. They got away with making a very mid show and a great ending for Kenobi, and fans weren't too mad about it. You know what I mean? You make it trash, you're going to have a lot of people coming for your heads.
Yeah. And if you involve a character like Maul, Maul's one of the biggest small villains. Maul was shown in the movies for such a short period of time before he died, and was shown in the Han Solo movie. And those are the only 2 movie times. You see Rebels, you see Clone Wars, and then books. And he's in it a ton. Bringing him into a TV show like this would be freaking cool for the passive viewers. I don't give a crap about watching Clone Wars and all that. But honestly, I think it'd be a little bit too much. I think it'd be almost too much Maul. Not too much Maul, but I think that I don't know, because whenever they find Maul in the Clone Wars, he's at the bottom of a pit, and he's just like completely, just hardly alive. And I feel like right now in this time period, he should be in that pit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's multiple ways they could do this wrong, and there's a couple ways they could do it right.
Mm-hmm.
There's not as many ways they can do it right, though, which is why I'm kind of scared. I'm going to lean kind of towards no, they shouldn't. I'm going to lean kind of towards yes, they're probably going to, though. So,
yeah.
With that, you all set then, Afton?
Yes, sir.
All right, with that, we'll catch you guys in the next vid.